Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth episode of the C Unraveled series. Today we are going to learn about again one of the most vital component of almost all programming languages, although this time it is in function. This time it is known as arrays. Maybe you have some experience in some other programming language, so you would have heard of arrays. But today I'm going to give you an introduction of what and how it is. So let me just create a file. I'll name it array.c. So I'm telling in written that what arrays are. Arrays are simply variables. Just like previously we were creating variables that int a is this, int b is this, just like that. They are also variables. But the catch is, wait, let me do the imports. Yeah. And int main. The difference is that arrays do not have a single value. Arrays hold multiple values at the same time. It is simply like, you can say, a bag of any student. It doesn't necessary that that student will have books of only one subject. Like if he is a PCM student, which is physics, chemistry, mathematics, then it isn't necessary that that bag will only have the book of mathematics or either a single book of physics. It would be containing books of multiple subjects. In the same way is the array. It would be containing multiple values which can be assessed individually. I would be showing you how to do it. So now I would tell you how to declare it. So it also requires a data type. And it is also its drawback that value of arrays all have to be of a single data type. Like if you are giving numbers, then they all should be of the integer type. It should not be of float or any other type. And even if you are using float, then it should not be having a value of integer type. That is a drawback that was also removed in a further, you can say it is also kind of data type only. So simply first write the data type you want the array to belong to, then variable, or you can say array name. Then we have to put square brackets. Also, these square brackets can be left empty or you can give some value in them. The value given simply means that many values you want to put in the array. And to put the values, simply write, such as I give an example, 10, 20, 30, and simply end with a semicolon. That's simply how you create an array. Let me show you an example. Suppose we are creating an integer type array. Also, arrays can be made with like char data type also, but they have a different name which is known as string, which is a larger topic than arrays. So I would be covering it in some other video in the future, but for now you need to understand what arrays are, because the upcoming videos are going to be based on this single video. So take care that you understand most of the things from here. So suppose we named it temp, okay, and then 5. We are giving 5. It isn't necessary that how many values we have said should be contained in that array. Like even if I write 10, 20, and 30, it would still work. there wouldn't be any problem. So this is simply how we declare an array. Now to print it, you can either do it in a longer and like there are two methods, a longer one and a shorter one. So you can either do it like this. So I'll write temp. Now what we are writing inside those square brackets is known as the index of that element. Like each number contained inside the array is called an element. And index means that at what position in the array stands the, you can say, the element that we want to print. You would be wondering why I give 0. By default, the first element has an index of 0. So the counting inside an array follows whole numbers and not natural numbers. In case you don't even know that, then whole numbers are simply numbers, natural numbers which include 0. And natural numbers are all numbers from 1 to infinity. So if I save this and if I run it, so I'll write gcc array.c then /a.exe. Then it would print 10, 20, 30, although in the same line. As you can see, there isn't any space because we didn't give space here. The other method is, I'll just remove it. Now we have to put a for loop. I'll also declare I here. So I, comma, now we have to give a count. Suppose we give a count of 3. And here again we write v. But this time here at the index, we'll write I. Okay, wait, we have to write 4 here. So now when we save it, it will give the same output. Okay. Okay, I had to write 3 only here. I was just a little bit confused. Okay, so now it is giving the correct value. That 0 simply showed that I made a mistake and wrote a value more. Now if I save it, now you can see them differently, like with a space between them. Okay, so this is how you can print an array. But obviously, whenever you are using it in an application, you need to make the user enter the values. So for that, we have another system. So I'll have to remove this. We can also remove that 5 from the square brackets. Like it is our wish. If we want, we can, or we can just let it be that way. Enter the values of the array. For now, I'm writing this so that we know that the program has run and now is asking for our values. Now we again have to put a for loop. So now again the count will go to 3. And now we will be putting a scanf statement here. As you know, scanf is simply used to get an input from the user. And again, we'll do the same thing, temp, square brackets, I. So now when we save it, so gcc array, and this, now it is asking us for values. We can simply enter the values like this. Now I'll change the value so that you don't get confused. You may be saying that maybe the program never updated. So 40, 50, 60. As you can see, the values have also changed here. Now there is one more thing that we can do in using these arrays only. Like sometimes the user need not put as many values as we have given. Like suppose if I have given here 100, they would never need to put 100 values, but I just gave it. So we also need to give the user some option to change how many values they need. For that, we can make another minor changes, which are, first of all, enter the number of elements required in the array. I know I have written it in a quite elongated way. You can just change as per your requirement. So now I'll again put a scanf and now %d, comma, and ampersand and count. Now the thing you have to do is simply remove this 3 from here and put count. Same here. Put count. And I would also give an additional statement here to be printed. The values of the array are okay. So what I did is I created another variable count, which would be saving the value that how many elements we want to put in this array. So now if I run it, so gcc array.c and then again, now suppose I give it a value of 10, that I want to give it 10 values. And now it is asking me to enter the value. So I'll write 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Now if I click enter, it will print all of them. As you can see, it printed. The values of the array are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. These are the simple things, simple yet quite effective when we are working with arrays. And if you are wondering that how it would be usable later on, most probably the video that I'll release on this Sunday, the coming Sunday, that video would be based on search algorithms. Like I'll give a slight introduction. So search algorithm is like Google, to be simple. Like suppose we have saved some names and we need to search a single name, that have we saved someone with that name, that simply we'll give a value there to search, and that algorithm will search the entire array for that name. I'm giving an example of name, but we can also use numbers. Like there are also two types of search algorithms, which are binary and linear, to name some. Then on the next Sunday, like after that, with the one Sunday that comes, I would be releasing a video on sorting algorithms, which is like both algorithms are really, really interesting and you're going to love them. And obviously what sorting algorithm does is sorts the entire array into a new form. Like it can sort in an increasing order or decreasing order. So simply that is what arrays are used in the basic level. Once you get into an advanced level, obviously they have further and larger uses. So that's all for today. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.